Hey there, and welcome to another Dave Does video. Today we are doing an interview with the wonderful Mutley Cruz from the band Slay Duggee. Let's go check them out. Hey there, I'm here today with Mutley Cruz from Slay Duggee, a metal band for toddlers, as far as one of the press reviews that I've read have said. Formed in 2018. Mutley Cruz is, I guess, lead guitarist, is that correct?
Only guitarist.
Only guitarist. Okay.
Only guitarist.
Guitar, rhythm guitar, a guitar aficionado, as they say.
That's it.
And today, you're going to ask answer 10 questions for me about the band, about what you do. And so, yeah, hopefully, if everyone is sitting comfortably, let's get straight into this. I guess the first question we want to know is, where did the idea come up for doing a metal band that is kind of aimed at kids?
Well, that all started off with our the main creator of Ricky Bow Wow and Black
Right.
Shuck. They put the band together and they got hold of Teddy Wall Street, and they basically just put it all together. I don't know exactly where it came from, but everyone's got their own pups, so I guess it just kind of spawned from that, like wanting to get their own pups involved.
Because there really isn't any other kind of band out there that I think like targets sort of the younger audience. There is obviously bands that do like comedy metal, and they try to be a bit more lighthearted. And of course, you've always got classic rock, so a lot of people like try to get their kids into what they listen to, like Metallica. But
Right.
There's never anyone that really kind of says what we are specifically targeted at kids. Because I've noticed obviously a lot of your concerts have aimed at people bringing their kids to them. I've seen kids wander around with noise cancelling headphones and stuff like that. And
that's right.
no one
Yeah,
else does that.
That's it. I mean, that's exactly what we're there for. We are literally there for the kids. And it is mostly, the metalhead parents that want to go to a metal show, but they want to get their kids involved, right? So, what better way to do it? And yeah, the whole ear defender thing, we supply all those to the kids.
Oh, awesome.
So, yeah, we got like I don't know, 200-300 of those things that come with us from show to show.
Yeah.
As long as it all gets put back in the box afterwards, we're good to go. But yeah, no, we supply all of that stuff. It is really designed for kids. We don't go easy on them. It's a full metal show. Everything's turned up to 100.
Turn your amps up to 11.
That's it. Yeah, we hit the 11 mark easy. So there's no letting up. It is designed for kids, but obviously safety does come first. So that's why we bring those ear defenders along.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, just keep it going.
That's it. So, but it's a weird name though, Slay Duggee. I couldn't quite work out where that name comes from. What's the background behind the band name?
So the name is obviously, if you look at the typography there, it's the Slade part is a complete rip of Slayer.
Right. Okay.
and Duggee, well, that's all to do with Hey Duggee, the kids' TV show, right? Which is about a dog.
I don't have kids. I have no idea what that means.
So yeah, so it's a complete mishmash of Slayer and the CBeebies show Hey Duggee.
Okay, at least I now know what that's about. Okay. So I've noticed that.
In fact, if you have a look here over my shoulder, you can see that's some posters that we had from a show, and that's kind of what the characters, apart from the metal look, that's kind of what the characters look a bit like in Slay Duggee. In Hey Duggee. Not Slay Duggee.
See that makes a lot more sense now. Now you tell me it's about some kids program, that makes complete sense, because then kids can relate that to it as well.
They know exactly what it's all about.
So you do a lot. I mean, it's primarily, from what I can see, I haven't checked all of your sort of songography. I guess that's the word would be discography, songography.
Yeah, there's 2 albums out, so it's there is a discography there. Third one's out this year. Little plug,
saw that.
Shameless plug.
Gotta get it in there. Gotta get it.
Yeah, that's it. So
first album was what Kids Love Metal, and second album was my first metal album, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And so I know the biggest song that I've seen that you've done that I can see on as far as YouTube views is Baby Shark. Is there a
that
bigger one? I
was
think that's your biggest one, a couple of million. I think the last time I saw it, round the kind of 1.6 million
yeah,
upwards.
on YouTube it is, but on other platforms it's a lot higher.
Awesome. So
Yeah, it's that one did a really good job. It was the one that really took the band off. It was the one that really elevated us. That and Stick, which is it's an actual song from Hey Duggee that we did.
right.
So both of those are really big, real big ones for us. The you know
They're your hits.
the singles, the
There's
hits.
your
That's
singles.
it. Yeah, I
That's
didn't
it.
want to say the hits, but yeah.
They're your ones. They're the ones that you're going to be totting out like the gold records for, yeah.
That's it, right? Exactly.
So, but where, I guess, when you're deciding on what song to do the next metal cover of, how does that come about? Because there's a whole host of CBBS, and you could be doing Teletubby songs, and you name it. There's so many songs you could pick from. So where
Right.
do you get down to nailing which songs you're actually going to do a metal cover of?
So it's between the five of us, it's like whichever one of our pups is watching, whatever TV show they're watching the most, and that's just drilled into our heads.
Yeah.
That's usually the one we're gonna do.
So let me get this vision. So you're sitting there, and the pups are sitting there. They're watching this children's TV, and you're sitting there
Right.
listening to the theme tune, going, dun, 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 dun. That would make a good song. That would be really.
That's
good.
it. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it, right?
That's exactly it. And someone will come up with this crazy thought of, oh, that rhythmic pattern is the one we want to use, and these are the chord progressions, and then from that it will go 5 ways, and then all of a sudden it's completely something else. Like
Right.
it's never the first idea, and then we just grind at it for a little while, and then Black Shuck, he's a genius when it comes to arrangements, and he will take several riffs, from all of us, and he will cut that up, and then he'll paste it all together, and he'll be like,
Right.
this is what the arrangement is. And then, he's kind of like the Lars Ulrich of the band.
Okay.
He just goes away and he arranges everything, and he's like, this is what I want it to be. And then we go, actually, that sounds like 50,000 times better than what it could have been. Let's go and do it. And then, we all individually go away and do our parts.
And so from the idea of concept of the song to the time when you go, that's ready to do a music video for, how long do you reckon it takes from that initial seed of creativity to this, where it's basically the tree of your new cover?
It varies. We've all got our day-to-day stuff to get along with. This isn't our primary job or anything, so we've all got kennels to clean, and
walkies to
whatever,
take,
cats to chase,
fair enough,
owners to annoy, all that sort of stuff. So we've got all that before the band stuff comes along. But when we get down to it, and we get get the tracks, actually, once the tracks have all been sort of arranged and ready for pre-production and stuff, we probably go like 3-4 months. And then we're kind of prepped. That's album material all ready to go. And
okay,
then,
so that's all of it. So that's like multiple.
Yeah. So
okay.
sort of 3-4 months, and we're sort of 10 tracks in.
That's good.
And then we go. This is going to be the single, or not the single, but this is going to be the first track we're going to put a video out for, and then we just go out and do it.
I think that's again. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, just between Black Shuck and Ricky Bow Wow, they've got these really massive, silly, creative ideas for music videos, and they've probably thought about them before we've even done the songs.
I think once you get the title of what the song's going to be about, they've probably got the idea of the video coming from that before you even finished it. But
no. Well, you'd think that, but the like when we did the Paw Patrol video, it was literally like a rip-off of the Andrex advert, with the puppies
right.
kicking all the toilet rolls and stuff. Which was good fun, right before the pandemic, when everyone went nuts for toilet roll. There's
and
us
you're
kicking around 400 rolls
them.
of toilet. Yeah.
That's what you get. That's what you get all the hate in the comments. How dare you?
Yep. Yeah,
Do you know what? To be honest, after about 6 months after the initial lockdown, I'm sure people around their houses were doing things like that with toilet roll. To be quite honest.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Okay, so you've been in the band for a while. The band's been going since 2018, so we're now this is going into its 4th year. In your time with the band, or even before you were part of the whole Slay Duggee, what's been the funniest or craziest thing you have seen or come across in the band? From either shows or just something that absolutely, as from being in bands myself, there's always certain things that you go back in memory. Some stuff you wouldn't want to share on a video, I'm sure, and there is some stuff that
do you know
great
what?
story or something.
There's just so many. So we did during the sort of, we had that lockdown sort of break. In 2021, was it?
Well, we had that
God, I don't even know where I am anymore.
We had a small one in 2020 where everyone kind of.
That's right.
July.
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah,
I work in dog years,
so trying to work it back for you humans is hard. But yeah, so that little break there in 2020, we had we did a show for Team Angus, and Angus is a kid with cerebral palsy and stuff like that, so he's got some conditions, and we run a charity show every year for him.
Awesome.
And right in that sort of middle of the lockdown, in between the lockdowns, we went to a skate shop in Chelmsford, and we filled it with 50,000 softballs and put him in the middle of it, like the only guest. Is like, we did a whole show just for him.
That's crazy.
And but then we shot a video of it, like for a music video and stuff like that, and you can see us like jumping inside the ball pools, and one of the dogs got knocked out, and it was pretty crazy. It was like the old sort of heavy metal stories you'd hear from like the 70s and 80s of kind of what they would do, but just on a much more friendlier scale.
Yeah, no TVs thrown out of windows and stuff.
Exactly. Just dogs launching into ball pools.
Fair enough. So we're at the stage of talking about your 3rd album coming out. So what do you see as where's the next evolution of the band? Do we have some younger pups going to be coming in? Do we have some additional changes? Anything on the horizon? Or is it all just focusing on the 3rd album coming out?
Yeah, it's all 3rd album. We have some ideas of what we want to do creatively outside of music. Which I can't say too much about, but there's some other sort of some paths that we want to take that are just outside of the music, outside of the band. The music will still be part of it, but away from live music, so to speak.
Diversification.
Yeah,
exactly.
We got some other treats in store for the kids. Yeah,
cool. Something to look out for. So that's
cool. For sure.
You did mention about the writing process, about 3 to 4 months to sort of get all the material ready for an album. But I guess, how much time do you guys as a pack spend rehearsing, i.e. for touring or on gigging, or rehearsing for getting ready for recording, I guess? So, because I know that can be massively different from some bands. I know there are some bands that rehearse literally 3 or 4 times a week. There are some people that rehearse once a month, and they will be fine. It's just very interesting to see the differences between different bands.
Yeah, well, this will be a shocker for you. Probably haven't heard an answer like this one. We don't rehearse.
There's no rehearsal, right? Okay.
Nope. So we will obviously, in our own kennels, we do our own homework. We're not completely unpracticed. So we do our own homework, and we do that. We're all within our own kennels. But then when we have a show come up, we tend to book a rehearsal studio the morning of the show, or if the venue has the ability to let us in early enough to have a little rehearsal,
right?
And we will literally do the rehearsal on the day.
Okay.
It's pretty, it's intense,
That's
especially
when
when we drop in new songs, it's killer. If we've got a new song that we're working, or we have a slight arrangement change because it will work better live, That's
Yeah.
a lot of pressure.
Because also, I mean, there is
But
a lot of the rehearsing that you talk about is, or bands talk about, is not just about how to play the song. It's about what you're doing on stage in between songs. It's about that
yeah,
interaction. There's always that talk about what should, if you've got a long talk section, when you've got tune in session. So if you've got to change tune in between songs, knowing
right.
when that's happening, who's going to be doing the talking, and knowing full well,
So
having been in a band, that can go horrendously wrong.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, in previous bands, things like that, of you have to plan for all of that. But because we're playing to kids, to just roll into another song, it doesn't work the same. You have to adjust for that. So between every song,
Hmm.
there is talk of some kind.
I thought you were going to
Where-
say it was like there was going to be feeding sessions or nappy changes or sleeping
no,
time
no,
talking.
no, no, none of that stuff. No, I mean, because you know, when you're younger, you have short attention spans. I mean, as we're getting older, to be fair, we're all getting short attention spans. But
Sorry, what
you
did you
know,
say?
yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's we're interacting with the kids in
Hmm.
between every show, getting them hyped up for every track. When you're an established band that people know all your songs, you can
Hmm.
kind of roll into one, two, three, four, whatever, and keep that set flowing.
Right.
For us, it's about getting the kids involved. Sometimes we get the kids up on stage, we get them
Hmm.
doing a bit of counting. There's some educational bits in there. Getting them to count with us. Count in the next song. That's gone horribly wrong before. Getting kids up on stage, and they
Yeah.
come and take the mics. That's gone horribly wrong before. But we do it every time. Like
Yeah.
guaranteed, we do it every time.
I think it's just a bit of fun.
Absolutely.
But also, I guess then when you're talking about recording, then so you've said if you're not kind of getting together to rehearse, do you record the albums together, or is this all done in separate areas, and you record your own parts separately? How's that?
Yeah, so I mean that's the beauty of the internet, man. We just
Hmm.
we literally have our own Logic programs or whatever program we're using, and we record all our sections. We bounce emails around left, right, and center. We've got all of our little communication, all the different types of
Yeah.
communication out there, and then yeah, we just record everything in almost in isolation. This is my
Hmm.
room here. This is my studio. I do
Hmm.
everything here. It gets bounced out of Logic and sent over to Black Shuck, and then he compiles it all together. Once he's happy with it,
Hmm.
we then send that over to an engineer who will then mix and master it all.
I mean, it's crazy to think back to going back to days back in the 90s, let's say, places like the Bull and Gate in Kentish Town, and you'd go
Great
there,
venue.
great venue, you'd go and watch maybe 5, 6 bands of a night. And the only
Yeah.
way you got to know about any bands is you'd have to go out and watch bands because there was no internet. And that is one curse of the internet, is it has killed part of the going out and checking out bands live, because everyone,
Yeah, absolutely.
even going and watching like a main band bill that you've seen many times. Let's say you were watching Machine Head as an example, seeing as your poster in the background, but you'd go through and you'd see the opening bands. And now in the old days, you'd go and check them out. Now you'd go on the internet and go, you'd watch a few YouTube videos and go, no, they're not really my thing. And you'd go a bit later. And
Yeah, yeah,
that's
for sure.
become a huge thing. But it has also given us the kind of the ability to do communicate interviews with people via internet. You can do, as you say, write whole albums without actually ever having to be in the same room and create music that way. So I think there's that benefits of it versus the negativity of it has
Yeah, there
killed
is.
that
There's
live vibe.
also there's one thing that we as musicians we look to the negative side of what the internet does. It stops
Mm,
people from coming to your shows, and actually checking you out for real. But also you get a much, especially in the early stages, you get a much further reach on the internet.
mm,
Before, if you went to a venue and you played, whatever venue that you went to, and you might play to, initially to start off, it might be 5 people, then you might get
mm,
10 people, then you build up gradually, and then you got maybe 100, couple of hundred. Well,
mm.
overnight you can reach 1 million people if you get a
Yeah,
viral hit. So
very
you
true.
could,
Very true.
it's there is the other side to it as well. You can get to 1 million people a lot quicker.
Mm.
um and it's
But
yeah, but
there's
it's
another
all pros and cons, isn't it?
There is. I mean, someone was talking to me about the music business on about Spotify, which seems to be the curse for everyone at the moment, about how much money you actually make off Spotify. But I was
Right.
actually then explaining on the flip side, if you were to have people watch your video on YouTube and you own your rights to your music on YouTube, not the record company, you can make a lot of money if you get a decent video. Not 1,000. If you can get to so a good example is I did one of my videos I did with a collaboration piece. Hit 1.6 million views. Unfortunately, wow. I don't make any revenue, but the original artist, because of my collaboration, gets revenue off of me and will make several £1,000s off of that video. Now, I do a lot more work on other videos and still get money coming through, but I make more money off of YouTube videos per play than I would off of Spotify. So great thing about that's why I say there are so many bands out there that I've spoken to who have got loads of music out but haven't put videos out of it. And you kind of go, why would you not just do a video? Because it's a great way to earn money for your channel.
Yeah, for sure.
For yourself. But anyway, we digressed a little bit.
just
went off on a tangent.
What happens, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we're going to go back through, talk about songs. We've talked about writing the songs, but when you guys go, you're doing, I don't know, let's say you're doing a 12, 13 song set for a gig, or maybe you're doing less, you may be doing a smaller show. How do you plan your set list? Because it's obviously in a lot of bands, they'll go for a high impact one, then they'll have a ballady, chilled song a bit later, then they'll have a high intensity one, and then they'll have like their biggest hit thing to kind of get people going. But you're primarily doing these cover heavy metal songs. So how do you work out which set list to do and which order? How does that come together?
Yeah, so it's kind of like we kind of know what songs are gonna work in each kind of in every scenario. We know what songs are gonna work. So it's just a case of what can we do with those songs that makes it more interesting. Now, if you take Sleeping Bunnies as one of them, we have a real like sort of drop breakdown section where we can drag it out a lot longer. And for that, we kind of I mean, there's a band that kind of copied us. They got that song, I don't know, Spit It Out or something.
These people with masks, I tell you, they're crazy.
Yeah, they're band with masks and stuff, and they jump around in boiler suits, but they get everyone to sit down now, just like what we do, and then they get them to jump up. So we got, we pick our songs based on what we can do interactively with the band and what are the interactively with the crowd, and what we really want to play. They're all great songs. You're just what we want to play.
Awesome. So we've got you as the only guitarist. So you've got two vocals, drums, bass, guitar, I believe, in the band.
That's it. Yeah.
So is there any plans to incorporate anything more into the band? So obviously bands talk about their natural evolution over time. And one of the things I always like to ask bands or musicians is because especially if a band's had multiple albums out, you can sometimes hear new instruments getting introduced. So any plans for any new instruments like synths, bringing a bit of like techno into this band, or anything else to be added to that we could look forward to in the future?
There's nothing directly on the cards as yet. I mean, we do use a couple of samples here and there and some bits and pieces, but yeah, it's if it fits the song, if anyone says that we should add this or add that to a song and it works, then it will get put in.
Right.
We've used some sort of piano bits and some crazy guitar effects and stuff like that, but yeah, it's got to work for the song.
Okay, but you're open for ideas if it comes to it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I want to get a gonging there. I want a big gong.
Big gong.
That's what I want.
Do you know how much they cost? They're crazy. So who would you like as a group to go out touring with? If you could get to go and do a UK tour with one other band, who do you think, or who would you like that to be?
Oh,
because I know that you're all individuals, so you've all your own individual packs, and we all have our own personal favorite bands. So I think I could probably guess maybe Machine Head would be one for you. But
you know what? Do you know what? I'd actually really love to have Gojira open for us. because well, actually, no, they couldn't
I'll probably
open
do
for us.
that.
No, there's no way. They would just, yeah, they're just awesome. At the moment, I'm really, really listening, like really into Gojira at the
Yeah.
moment, and looking forward to seeing those guys next month in a couple of weeks. And yeah, yeah, that would be awesome, right? How cool would it be to have to go on just before those guys?
A bit that would be a hell of a challenge though, wouldn't it, as well? So because when you get fans of a big band like that, you've got to bring your A game every single time.
Every single
time. Okay, so last question I've got for you today is, I guess, as wonderful animals that you are, how warm is it for you with all that fur on stage every single night?
Oh, it's horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
Just sweat just coming out of every
I mean,
that you've got.
Yeah, we've all got our own personal fans, assistants, water boy, everything, whatever it takes to keep us cool. It's
hose you
really,
down
really
at the
hot.
end. Just hose you at the end. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. And then so that's part of our rider. Actually, as part of our rider, you should add that to your question list. Is what's on your rider
list?
What's
your rider? Back to your kennel and just hose you down.
Yeah. It's we all want our own kennel. We all want a hose down afterwards. Sticks, you have to bring a stick. If there's no stick in the rider, it's game over.
Stick, ball, and a frisbee, you're set.
There you go. Right, that's exactly it.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to come speak to me today, Mutley. I greatly appreciate it. We're going to throw another little bit of one of your videos on today, and as always, to everyone that's watching on the channel, this is, of course, how Dave does it.
Cheers, Dave. Love the show.